When you bow to other nation, that is sinful. When you don't believe in yourself, that is evil.
Let there be light.
Let's give ourselves that identity as a nation once again. Where are we going? Or do you see your children in 50 years from now? Or are we going to be a nation that caring for our generation? Or are we going to be a nation and say to well with you if you survive or not? Or this society, this generation is just about me and me alone? Is it going to be this way? Are you going to stay this way forever and ever? Because I guarantee you, if we as a people decided to stay in this one mind track, it's just about you and you alone, our people will sink and sink in the bottom of hell. It's not going to get better, it's going to get worse. Because this must be our realization that the society that we live, that don't care for one another, neighbors don't care for neighbors, and we don't care for strangers, and we don't even care for brothers. This is a reality that we must come together and face the reality. What type of nation do we want? Do we want a godly nation, or do we want a nation do whatever you do or you please to do, as we are living right now? And if this is a nation that you want, I guarantee you, you're going to sink into hell every day. Because a nation without rules and regulation is a nation that is deep, deep into hell. When you don't care for rules and regulation, how righteous can you be? What good can you do for society when you don't care for rules and regulation? This must be the mindset. Let's have a new mindset, Africa. Let's have a new day, Africa. That is what we must want, a new day, a new identity for the future. And in order to get that new future, that new identity, we must create that identity. No one must create that identity for you. Or you must not leave it in the hands of your enemy. You must not do that, African. Never leave your identity in the hands of your enemy. You create that identity. You make that identity. You put it in the future, whatever you see, however you see yourself and your family and your children, you must build that future. But if you continue to make the enemy, the devil, tell you about your future and your children, you are sinking every day. You are giving up your birthrights once again. Africans, don't let them fool you in saying to you, you don't have a say into your future. Never you do that. Never you make another man be leader over you and your nation, because you will always be a slave. Never let a person tell you different from you what to do and how to look and control your destiny. Africans, you control your destiny. Why? Because you have the power. God has given you that power to shape your future, shape your identity, shape it up, or shape out. It's hard to see today our people are thinking defeat. We sit aside and watch how they build Africa. No man should build Africa but Africans. I don't have anything against anyone. And this is the truth. We appreciate all that is given help to our people. This is kindness we must show to those who bring goodness to Africa. We must show appreciation. We must show appreciation to all that is doing good for Africa. But we must remember this. You must build your own nation, Africans. You must control your destiny. You must be in power to empower yourself. What a greater nation we must be for our children to look at us as the builders of Africa rather than a different nation to be the builders of Africa. Because if you let your children see that you are not being the builder, you're going to be a slave once again. In other sense, your children are not going to respect you. What is keeping you back from building and directing the future? We must always look and see our children, how they're going to look at you in the future. And if you are not building Africa with your own hands, with your own brain, your children are going to always respect strangers and love other people than their own culture is plain to see. They will always go to a different culture. They will always look out of Africa rather than look within to build for themselves. This must stop. And again, to let you know, anyone that do good to Africa, we must respect them. Because Africa is falling. It's at the bottom right now. As much as it looks like progress is going on, but it's in the bottom. If you are not building yourself, if you are waiting for a stranger to feed you, you are in the bottom. That's reality. If another man is feeding your children, you are in the bottom. If another man is taking care of your needs for you, what good are you? This is reality. And I understand it because there are too many mouths to feed. So we cannot leave people with hungry bellies. The war been on us for a long time, destroying your culture. What a beating we take. Yes, Africa, we take a lot of beating, but it don't mean we gotta stay beaten. We can walk away from it. How do we do it? If we get the right apparatus, we can rise in a team. And that is why when people talk to me about Africa rising, and we talk about things are not fundamental to us, that the culture that they give to us, why should we respect it? You see, this is some of the question. If it's not made by you, you're not going to respect it. But to unrespect a nation, our hands must do it. Because if you take other nation, I know what you will expect. I know what they will say to you. What they will say to you, when you're dead and gone, victory will be yours. When you're dead and gone, you go to heaven and meet your kingdom. But right here, just how Christ teaches the disciple 10,000 years ago and more, to tell you, do it yourself. This is the message from day one, do it yourself. This is a message of repent. This is John, not just Christ, John the Baptist also. John the Baptist understood it, said, listen, repent from your wickedness. You see, sometimes we think wickedness is just taking a gun and kill someone. Listen, when you make people do things for you, when you become a slave, that is wickedness to yourself. When you bow to other nation, that is sinful. When you don't believe in yourself, that is evil. You see, we must watch the words of the Bible and understand when we say repent. Why am I saying this? Because the Pharisees was bowing to the Europeans. The Pharisees wanted Pontius Pilate to control. Isn't this right? The Pharisees in the Bible. And John the Baptist said, repent from your sin. Never make another man rule over your nation. It's embarrassing, Africans, that what we are doing is shameful. And the reason why it's shameful, we have too long of history of wars and cultures not to understand this, even as an individual. To bow to any nation is sinful. This is John the Baptist who are teaching our people that. This is Christ who are teaching our people this. Christ was running from the Europeans all over. He was running from the Europeans. Before Christ was born, he was running from the Europeans. It's a shameful thing. You should be ashamed. You should be ashamed to let anyone build your society for you. But we should be grateful for the times that we are living, that anyone gives something to you also. It sounds like a contradiction, but it's not. For those who understand the struggle, when there's no food on your table, you will understand that, what I just said. When you have nothing to eat and nothing on your refrigerator, you'll understand the kindness, if it is a real kindness. If it's real love they are giving to you, take it. But remember, one day, you must be in charge of what you put on your table as a man.
Let there be light.